A lot of highly skilled professionals are doing everything right now and they're still not getting hired. They have the education, the experience, the credentials, and they're still either unemployed or massively underemployed. People trying to find the jobs, get hired. The job market was brutal.
It is a nightmare situation right now.
Today's guest is the founder of Jupiter HR, Jermaine L. Murray. He's worked in over 30 roles across different industries. Today, he's here to teach how someone can land a high-paying job using real insights from his experience in recruiting.
They're not trying harder anymore. They're pivoting smarter.
The people that are getting called for interviews or succeeding, they all have three things in common. First thing being luck. The second one, a niche. And then the last one is having some that allows you to 10x what you used to be able to do. We are going to be teaching people how to launch and become their own recruiters.
Your experience as a recruiter.
I've had this mission of trying to increase the number of Black people I've helped get jobs.
If the job market is so rough, how do recruiters fix this problem even? A lot of highly skilled professionals are doing everything right now and they're still not getting hired. They have the education, the experience, the credentials, and they're still either unemployed or massively underemployed. And if you're a Canadian immigrant without the coveted Canadian experience, it can feel even worse. You came to Canada with all these years of experience. You hit the ground running, except you weren't received in the way that you were expected, and your experience is almost not counting. Meanwhile, the job market keeps getting tougher. But here's one thing that's very interesting. Some professionals aren't trying harder anymore. They're pivoting smarter. They're using their industry background in a way that most people underestimate, look over, or don't even expect it. And it's actually working. Today, we are back again with the job father from Jupiter HR, who's helping professionals pivot without having to leave their industries. And this might be one of the most overlooked job paths right now. Jermaine, welcome back to our immigration stories as told by Canadian immigrants. So glad to have you. So glad to have had you the last time we had you on. And today we're going to talk about exactly what I just spoke about in my introduction. So hello and welcome, Jermaine.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Christine. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Same. So Jermaine, as I just mentioned, they're not trying harder anymore. They're pivoting smarter, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. And they don't necessarily have to leave their industry. So first, let's just set the stage in terms of the context. You are a recruiter, right? Mm-hmm. And you operate within the tech space, but tech is beyond just the tech person. It's all the supporting roles that exist within tech, which include admin, HR, you name it, within the industry that is technology, right?
Yep. Marketers, product managers, project managers, business analysts, chief of staffs, founders, salespeople, scientists as well, like social sciences as well. Like there's a lot that's actually in there. When people hear tech, they just think of engineers, but like tech is a whole entire industry. Just as like you would say, I work in the medical field, and that could mean anything from a doctor to an ambulance driver.
Yeah. Yes. That's a perfect analogy there. Perfect. So that's the stage. Right now, in terms of people trying to find the jobs or like actually get hired, because I know that the last time we spoke, the job market was brutal. It was rough out there. Right. Mm. So let's talk a little bit about like between then and now. It's not been a long time since we last spoke, but what are people experiencing right now in the job market trying to step into their industry, for example?
It's hard as hell. It is a nightmare situation right now. And that's for people that have been in Canada for years, may even be Canadian natives, and they have years of experience. Like everyone from entry level all the way to senior and leadership and managerial in the hierarchies are having trouble. And then, of course, people that are new to the country that always get hit with like, oh, you don't got Canadian experience. And it's like, it's just a nightmare scenario within a nightmare scenario.
Yes. Why? Is it just the economy? Is it like?
It's a mix of things. The economy, politics, tariffs, the tariffs in the United States have had like a cascading effect. cost of living crisis as well. Toronto Star and CBC just did stories analyzing why this generations of youth are the ones with the least amount of hope in Canada. Yeah. And it all goes back to like a lack of opportunity and a lack of financial mobility, while like the cost of living keeps on spiking.
Yeah. 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 And so right now, how people are pivoting smarter. I mean, I never ever thought about it. So I'm so happy that we're having this conversation, because a lot of people aren't thinking about it either. Because in my background, the thing was project management.
Yeah.
So, it's like any industry you come from, there are project managers in there. So my background is in architecture, then I go into construction project management, but it's transferable to IT project management. And so it was like project management was kind of the universal thing that you could plug into and be that anywhere. But now you have a different solution to help people to stay in their industry and help other people who are in that industry. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you have an upcoming boot camp. Tell me about the boot camp.
I do. So to talk more, this job market, right?
Yeah.
The people that are getting called back or getting called for interviews or succeeding, they all have one of three or up to three things in common. First thing being luck. The second one being a niche that is like hard to find. And then the last one is having some sort of skill with AI or with automation or some sort of tooling that allows you to 10x what you used to be able to do in the previous positions. So before, like a marketing coordinator might have been responsible for posting 7 stories and generating like 7 content ideas to post on their schedule every Monday. Now the expectation is you can use ChatGPT. We want 90. We want the next 90 days done in one day type of thing, right? And then the second half of it is that I'm sure everyone has heard the stories of people that are doctors, people that have a bunch of different professions from like countries outside of North America, especially countries where, people have the same skin color as us. And suddenly like the certifications don't apply.
Matter.
Like, you have to drive as an Uber driver to make ends meet because they won't recognize your experience as a doctor or whatever you did back in your home country. So all of that to say, and all of that is connected and all that's kind of answered in our upcoming bootcamp, where we are going to be teaching people how to launch and become their own recruiters. Right now, you'll see HR folk are getting like absolutely decimated in layoffs. But what's not talked about is that a lot of those layoffs have been to do reinvestment so that companies can hire more upskilled employees. And in that situation, and as with all situations when like the economy takes a nosedive, the work is still there, but it's better to offsource and it's better to outsource a lot of things. And this is where like agencies come into play, not just recruitment agencies, but marketing agencies, all types of agencies. They tend to, if they can find clients, it tends to be a very, very good time for them. And recruitment agencies are no different. Now, my background is as a recruiter, career coach, so it would make sense. But if you're somebody that doesn't have a background in recruiting and you're wondering how can this be of use to you, remember what I said earlier: luck, niche, and technical skills. Being a recruiter requires you to have technical skills around finding and identifying people, identifying their contact information. That can be taught. The other half is being able to have conversations with people at their level. So if you are a doctor, for example, and you can't get work as a doctor in Canada, a viable solution for you would potentially be to launch your own recruitment agency placing doctors. You understand how to talk to doctors. You don't need a certification or you don't need some sort of classification or license in order to engage with conversations with doctors and connect them with opportunities. So that's kind of like the whole play there. And like it allows for like a lot of flexibility because suddenly if you have a niche, right, there is a market for you. And the great thing about recruitment is that it doesn't have to be exclusively within the confines of Canada or the United States. You can stay in one country and recruit all over. So if you have plans to even come to Canada and you're wondering, and you're in the process and maybe it's a few months out before you're able to make the move and you're wondering, what am I going to do for money? You can easily get in our program, learn how to start a recruitment agency and be connected with potential clients. And then you can start working on roles from before you even come to Canada. Right. Imagine being able to like come into with a network with a couple of clients that have already paid you. Right.
Yeah.
And you can just fit right in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, so niche is basically you're a subject matter expert recruiter for that industry that you're in. And one thing that you mentioned, I think, is, all right, you start the recruiting thing, which means that now you have access to employers.
Exactly.
Right?
For your own network.
For your own
employers network. And other people of various levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
From entry level all the way up to C-level. You'd be surprised at how many of the business opportunities I get in recruiting are from people that I placed that got promoted into influential positions, and they still remember the brother that helped them get that job.
Yes. So you, as a recruiter, say for instance, you're a pharmacist. Exactly. You're helping to place people in, and especially in remote areas. I forget the name of the remote town. Oh my gosh. It's like north of Thunder Bay. Like there's more north to go.
Yeah.
Sioux Lookout. It's called Sioux Lookout.
Sioux Lookout. Yeah. Lookout. Anytime you got the Sioux in the name.
Sioux Lookout was looking for a pharmacist, and they were like, we're ready for you to start today. But they had a hard time because the remote area. So you could even specialize in placing people in these remote areas where you know that there's a need. But then now you are basically connected to, like, so you can transition into your industry later down if you want to go back to being a pharmacist or a doctor or whatever, because now you have a little bit more connections, and you basically networked your way into a job through another job.
Exactly.
It's paid networking. Hey.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it. Like, and the thing is, it's crazy too. Is that it's not uncommon for like recruiters to get poached by their clients. You know, when I was working at it at a big firm agency, I kept getting repeat business from this one startup, and they're like, hey, you know, we just placed somebody. Let's all go out for lunch to celebrate. It's like the 5th time you placed somebody, and then at the lunch, they're like, yo, how much would it cost us to just hire you? Because You've hired bare people, and we've had to pay your agency like a fee where we could have just given you like a nice 6-figure salary and saved all of us a bunch of trouble and money, right? So it is a really good opportunity, and like I said, it's a good exercise of paying kindness forward, because like imagine you're able to help people that are in a similar situation as you. Like people are going to remember that for the rest of their lives, and like it's such an interesting space to be in, and then the thing that I'm very proud of with our specific program is that we guarantee an internship.
Yes.
We actually guarantee an internship. And the twist on top of that is that any placements that you make or you contribute to during that internship, you are entitled to industry standard rates. So you can earn commission while you learn as well. For example, the average fee that is assigned for recruitment agencies is usually between 15 to 20% of what the base salary is of the person that you place. So if I place somebody, the annual, just the base. Sometimes you can negotiate for the to include like bonuses and whatnot, but like industry standard is 15 to 20% of the base salary. So if I get somebody a job as a developer or as a pharmacist and they get paid $100,000, the hiring company has to pay me 15 to 20% of that, which would be 15 to 20,000, right?
Yeah.
As you can see, if you do like even just 5 placements, it can really add up.
Yeah.
So like that's the benefit. And like if you are an intern or if you industry standard is usually like you are entitled to anywhere from 25 to 50% of that take. So place somebody, the fee is 20 grand. You're walking away from with up to 10 grand per hire. So like, again, it's an interesting dynamic. And the way that we're able to guarantee the internship is a couple of different ways. One, we ourselves are part of a number of vendor lists.
Right.
So there are companies that They have an approved list of third-party vendors that they use, and they constantly send out jobs for these vendors to work on. So we have a steady stream of opportunities coming from several different sources.
Right.
The second thing is that we have partners as well in specific industries. So we have a partner that has a recruitment agency in the finance space, in the healthcare space, in the insurance space, and one that's dedicated for French speakers as well.
Ooh.
And they are all on vendor lists. So the jobs are going to keep on coming. The great way about the way that we have our program set up is that the internship takes place at these companies. So either one of three things are going to happen when people go through this program. One, they're going to get the foundational skills to basically become their own recruitment agency, be able to work on roles, understand how to get clients. In some cases, we may even be able to introduce clients to them because of a niche that they have. And they're able to work as their own boss with their own business. And we help them get set up with all the legalities as well, accounting information, licensing if needed, and also banking, etc. We'll tell you what banks to use and how to get set up as an LLC or as an incorporation or sole proprietorship, etc. And that's available for people that are in Canada, the US, or the UK. So if you're immigrating to any of those three places, we got you for that. So you either be able to be fully set up, legitimate, or you will be able to get an extension to work at that company as a full-time employee. Right. Some of the each different agency has its own different culture and its own different compensation method. So some agencies, if they extend an offer to you, it may just be commission. Some agencies will be able to have salary plus commission. It depends. But the consistent thing is that you're going to be able to work on those specific roles during your internship. And the third thing is that you'd be able to get a job at a company as an internal recruiter with actual experience on your resume. Right. The entire process, the entire thing is about 15 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Thorough.
Nice. Yeah. And the internship is within that 15 weeks as well?
Yes. The internship is 5 weeks. Nice. So the actual program runs for 10, the internship runs for 5 weeks, and then the agency or the companies can offer an extension, and it goes on from there. Ideally too, like I said, people can also continue to work in collaboration with us for to make placements on roles after their internship is completed, either directly through employment with us or as a contractor partner. And that's where we split the fee between our two entities. Yes.
And what I like about that is that with this experience now, people have now insider knowledge of what companies are looking for, who they're looking for, what kind of recruiting techniques they use, because now they get to be on the other side of the table now, so that if the tables may flip, if they want to go back into their industry, now they have that insider knowledge, they have that insider experience that they can then transfer into their own job search, either as a recruiter or HR professional, or having their own agency. So somebody who is placed in a company isn't necessary. They don't have to be incorporated. They can be self-employed or a sole proprietor. Sorry, yeah.
And our accounting resources will go into more detail on what makes the most sense. If you're a sole proprietor, you make under $30K. For your sole proprietorship, you don't need to there are different tax implications for there.
Right.
So it all comes down to, again, everyone's unique situation. But the main thing is that there will be a resource there that will tell you what you need to do in order to get properly set up so that you don't got the tax man on you. And the tax man got Al Capone, the tax man can get you. The other aspect as well is that there is a heavy automation piece in our program. Right. So we use several no-code automation platforms like Zapier and 8AN to actually run the infrastructure of the agency. So in addition to all of the recruitment stuff, you'll also have an opportunity to completely upskill and add like automations to your skill set. And this is transferable to a lot of different industries. If you ever thought about like how can I get on this automation AI train before the AI comes and replaces me or takes my job? This is a way to do that.
I know. So there's so many layers within it. It's learning automation. It's learning the accounting, the difference between the different business types that you're learning so much going through the boot camp that you'll come out of it smarter, wiser in more than just recruiting.
Most definitely.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Very rounded. I like the AI integration there and the automation. Yeah. When does it start? They're like, sign me up. Where can somebody get more information, but also get in touch? I'm assuming that there is probably some vetting process, right? To make sure that people are fit for this. So it's definitely a smarter pivot, but you also have to come with your best foot forward. It's not a free lunch.
Exactly.
So tell us about the vetting process and when they should be looking out for stuff. Presuming that they're watching this video before, but they could be watching it at any point in time.
They could. So if you're watching this video anytime before February 1st, it's not too late for you. But there are a couple of things that, in order for us to run this program successfully, that we had to agree with, especially when it came to our partner agencies.
Yeah.
And like the main thing with recruitment agencies is that speed and quality are things that have to be maintained in order to be successful. And like 99% of the cases in the world, speed and quality are at opposite ends. You can't go west and expect to hit east. I mean, you can, but that's a very long journey. So we want to emphasize quality here. And as a result, our cohorts aren't going to be more than 10 people.
Okay.
So they're going to be very small classes because we want to make sure that we have multiple instructors per person. Right? Instead of the inverse.
And that you're producing quality, because at the end of the day, you're opening up your network to these people, right? Exactly. And so you want to definitely make sure that there's quality coming out. Yeah.
Exactly. Because like a lot of the recruitment agencies are like we can't have like people that don't take this seriously.
Yeah.
So part of our vetting process is that we actually have an application form that people will have to fill out. I'll connect that with the team here, and we'll make sure that if anyone's listening and they're coming from Christina, you guys get the Christina love process that we have. But like the vetting process is the application form, and then it's an interview. It's an hour interview with me. I'm making sure that I am talking to every single person because I want to get an idea of what's driving you, what your background is, why you're interested in this. And I want to make sure absolutely that you understand that this isn't like, I do not believe in get rich quick schemes. I am not selling you a get rich idea. I'm not telling you that you are going to make $100,000 in your first year. Like, I'm not doing any of that. And I'm using these vetting process to be explicitly clear and set the expectations so that you know what you're getting yourself into. And so that you also know why I believe that this is such a great thing. But like the number one thing that we always do here when it comes to me, the Job Father, Jupiter HR, or my Recruitment Academy, we're 100% real. Like we believe in giving people options, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have the option to say no, you have the option to do it, but like it's always best to have an option. Right. It's the difference between somebody who's an introvert that likes staying in their room all day and somebody who's an introvert that's in prison. The option, it's the same thing, but the options make a whole lot of difference.
Yeah. And so if you're watching the video after February the 1st, 2026, what are their options then? I guess you're going to be running cohorts ever so often, cyclical, like what does it look like? Or maybe it's
we're going to be running 2 cohorts per year.
Okay.
So the first cohort is from February 1st to, I believe, April 15th, with a potential extension to May 1st. And then cohort 3 would be in Q3 of 2026. So we're looking at July, August.
Okay. All right. So winter and summer semester.
See.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, this sounds like a really good opportunity. And like I said, you're gonna learn about recruiting. You're gonna learn about what recruiters are looking for, which job seekers are facing now with this brutal job market. You're gonna learn automation, AI tools. You're gonna learn networking skills because it's, whether it comes naturally or not over time, you'll just learn networking skills. You'll be plugged in to Jermaine's network, basically, right? And then you'll be connected to companies that are in line with your background, your subject matter expert area. And so all around, it sounds like the project management of of another world where you can still do what you do, be close to what you love, and there's so many advantages by doing that. And if you choose to pivot back into your industry directly or indirectly, you have now a wider network to cast your net and catch some fish.
And a whole bunch of new skills.
Skills.
Everything from being a better interviewer to being a better leader to being able to set up your own autonomous environment. The whole idea is that you got to be walking away with something. You know that Denzel Washington meme? I'm leaving here with something. You're going to be leaving here with something one way or the other. Either a new career, either a new business, or skills that make it easier for you to stand out on your resume or in your career path, or just what you're able to offer an employer. And that's the beauty of recruitment. It's super flexible. It allows you to network. It allows you to learn the differences of verticals. And it allows you to gain skills that are transferable to any industry, right? Being able to recruit people, talk to people, understand their motivations, understand how to read them. You might become a better poker player. You don't even know.
And with your background, I know, so if you don't know now, I did say welcome back to Jermaine, but that's because this is our second video and he shared a bit about his story in that video. So I want you to go back and watch that video and of course get acquainted with Jermaine and Jupiter HR. But Jermaine, you've been a recruiter for many years now. Give me the number.
10
years, right? So you've been doing this for a while, and I think that your introduction into recruiting kind of came out of this. You were like, this is what I'm good at, this is what I like, where can I work where I won't get in trouble for talking a lot?
Yeah.
And so in the same breath, you were able to use your skills, pivot, and get into something that you love, and now you're teaching people how to do the same. And so, guys, I think it's a great opportunity. If I had a clone, I would be sending my clone to do it. I just find that I want to do everything and I can't, right? But I think it's a great opportunity. And if you're here and you are having a hard time breaking into your niche, I think that this is one way to do it. Jermaine, anything before we land the plane today? I think that's maybe just your experience as a recruiter after you were a job seeker. That mindset.
It was eye-opening, to be honest. And it didn't become clear until probably my second or third placement. My first placement made me realize I could actually actively change someone's life.
Yes.
And it was somebody who had to work away from their family because they were a recent immigrant to Canada, didn't have Canadian experience, and missed a whole bunch of firsts with his son, first words, first steps. And the job we got him was a remote job he was able to walk his kid to. And you hear these stories and you get very emotional. Him saying to me, I'll never miss another moment of my son's life again because of you guys is very powerful work.
Yes.
So you do have those moments as well. It also allows you to see firsthand and confirm any biases that you've been suspicious of from employers. But I always make this joke that Black people get accused of trying to make everything about race, but literally it's the last thing we ever want to look for because there's got to be some logical reason for this conflict right now, and it can't literally just be because I have more pigmentation than you. But it literally is the case a lot of times, right? Even the whole Canadian experience argument only seems to apply to countries that have a certain complexion.
Yeah.
But I digress. So like it does give you a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
But it also, like, for me personally, for the last 6 years, I've had this mission of trying to increase the number of Black people I've helped get jobs in tech to 500. I'm at 457 as of the recording of this video. I've
Nice.
been doing this since 2019. People keep asking me, what happens after 500, right? And like, I think the ego in me wants to say like 1,000 or like 5,000
Yeah.
or something crazy like that. But the reality is that the way that I've been doing it prior to has been very grassroots. I've met every single person that I've helped, but it's not as fast or as scalable as we need. And this recruitment practice is going to be my way of approaching that, because I'm going to be teaching people how we
How
recruit.
to do, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, and we are effective recruiters because we specialize in finding underrepresented talent. Now, this isn't like, you're not going to have to make this your focus, of course, but like, believe you me, it is much harder to find a Black nuclear scientist than it is a white one. And if you can find the Black one, you'll have a much easier time finding the white one. I'm just saying, right? Right. We're not like, there is no easy way about this, but like, there are
Yeah.
tools that make us a lot more effective. Right.
Yeah.
So, and you can scale that to any background or any disability. We have somebody that showed interest that is from the disabled community. And, she's like, do you think I can be a recruiter? I was like, of course you can. You can be a recruiter because recruiting can just literally be over text, right? It is such a accessible career. You can even be somebody that advocates for your community, right? Launching a agency that specializes in helping people that have disabilities get employment. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can be very rewarding here, and it could be, like I said, it could be applicable to your interests, to things that you care about, to communities that you're a part of, that you can now be an advocate in.
Awesome. Awesome. And for anybody who might be thinking, because this did come to mind for me, and I'm sure you have a beautiful answer for it. If the job market is so rough, and it's so crazy, because it's like there's job postings, so many job postings, but then there's so many people. If it's hard right now for people to find jobs, I don't know if it's because there's a disconnect, the economy, the tariffs, the this, the. If we start pumping out a bunch of recruiters, but people are having a hard time finding jobs, do recruiters solve that problem or help solve that problem to create a proper merriment of the people and the jobs? Is there saturation that they need to worry about? Of course, everybody's in a different industry. So of course, the pharmacists are different from the architects from that. But if for anybody who is thinking, well, if there's something is amiss, I still don't know. This is a mystery, right? There's so many jobs going up, so many people, and they're not finding each other. How do you tackle that idea of the whole saturation or the concern, or how do recruiters fix this problem even?
Yeah, this is why we specifically, before like even launching the program, we specifically went out of our way to find partnerships and other people, other organizations that were on vendor lists, because from a systemic point of view, to answer your questions, recruiters don't have any say or real impact on like the job
Hiring.
market in itself. Like, they got to work with the cards that they're dealt, and like, the less jobs available but more applicants means that there's more pressure on them to get the hiring right. Right. So, and as a result of that, a lot of recruiters are also just burnt out. Like, a lot of talent teams had to like when I was working at Well Simple, we had 44 recruiters. When layoffs happened, we ended up with 6. You know what I'm saying? So like, and all 44 of us were actually busy. So those 6 people had to do the work of an
44.
additional 38 people. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So then that's how agencies get pulled into it. The emphasis on the vendors list is like, is to make sure that people have a consistent shot at competing for opportunities. Recruiters do make it easier because if it's especially depending on the relationship you have with the hiring manager, you might be able to get more feedback than normal. You might be able to get more of a like priority when it comes to submission of candidates because we are a very mission focused organization advocating for Black people. Sometimes our hiring managers specifically hire us because they're like, we haven't seen any Black applicants at all. If a Black applicant comes through your pipeline and they're a really good fit for the job, we will prioritize them and like try to get them through the pipeline as quickly as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is
But
in
that's
keeping with their DEI policies, probably.
exactly.
Yeah.
Some people hear that and they think that's racism, but like
I know.
I like if you like I would just tell them like you need to understand the concept of equity, right?
Equity.
Because like if that is the sole representation of like a population, right? If there's one Black person and there's 50 white people, right? And there's a 50-50 chance of this Black person getting the job. If they don't get the job, that doesn't, it doesn't mean like I'm not going to consider a white guy. But very well, if I consider the 50 white guys first, there's a very good chance I'm going to get to a applicant that meets the requirements before I even interview or talk to the Black person.
A Black person.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where the equity comes into play. You know what I'm saying? And and so like I say it's on a 1-to-1 case by case basis. Yeah. Like a recruiter can make you as an individual have a much easier time with your job search. Yeah. When we think of it as a system as a whole, the answer would be no. But like also as a recruiter, like shit, if you're able just to make one person's life better in this job market, it's still a win.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Well, that closed the loop for me. That's the only question I had, and I knew you would have an answer for it, of course. So now people, before February or whenever they're seeing this, they're going to be clicking that link, which is will show up on the screen either or in the description below or in the first comment below somewhere on the screen. Click the link to join the wait list. If cohort 1 already started, there'll be another pipeline of the sorts to help you to get to the other wait list. And I'm sure when they do that, they'll get pricing, they'll get all the information that they need, but also they'll be vetted and such like that.
If you register before January 15th, you will be eligible for early bird pricing. Okay. Early bird pricing would be $5,000 Canadian per seat. Okay. Mm-hmm. After January 15th, regular pricing and all of our pricing going forward for cohorts will be $8,000 Canadian.
Okay. Yes. So the early bird gets the worm.
and if you use Christina's code, there might be an extra discount in there. I can't say. I'm just saying though. Just saying, it might be worthwhile to use.
Yes, absolutely. And just to put things into perspective, guys, we came to school here as international students, and we spent 10 years ago $14,500. I don't want to say for less, but less.
Yeah. And then part of the reason why we're like, I fully understand too, like what we're asking of people, and it is an investment. But that was why we were so adamant on making sure that we had plenty of job opportunities where people could make placements and make commission, which inadvertently can go back.
So there's a return on investment. Exactly. You have the opportunity to return your investment right out of which is very different from our school environment. So very comparable to cheaper than a program that you do in school here. As international students, but even as domestic students. I just did a course as a domestic student and it was 10K or 12K. Right. So, I mean, I think the pricing sounds pretty reasonable, and I'm just putting things into perspective for you guys to think about it. But also, it's an opportunity at like all the things that we said: the networking, the AI tools, the automation, you name it, and the opportunity to go off now and find somebody, place them in a job, and earn a percentage of their salary, basically.
It's a good setup.
It's a good setup.
It's hard work, but like it's worth it. And I will tell you, if you get like in a good groove, it can be a very worthwhile career. Like I said, like I'm not saying that you're gonna do 5 placements in a year, but it's not uncommon for that to happen. It's just something that I don't. It's just something that I'd rather not promise because I want to set expectations properly. But like stuff like that isn't uncommon. It's not an uncommon story. If you talk to some recruiters and you ask them like how much they've been able to make in a month or a year, like it can sometimes the numbers seem like stupid. I will share this with Christina, but we do have a recording and a breakdown of our curriculum, video that people can watch and kind of get more information on. And in addition to our application form, if you have any general questions, please feel free to reach out, and we're happy to like make sure we schedule a call and help give you the information you need to decide whether or not this is a good fit for you.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Amazing.
All right.
Thank you for having me, Christina.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I think it's an amazing opportunity. If you made it this far in the video, please hit the like button. Subscribe for more helpful videos like this. The link to register, start the process. Of course, remember the early bird pricing before January the 15th.
Yes. For January the 15th.
And then it goes up after that. And then if you've passed January, of course, then the next intake, or past February, then the next intake will be available for you. So always keep yourself in the know, on the lookout, ask questions to Jermaine. The link again is going to be in the description below. So click it, join the wait list, and get your process started right now, in time for February 1st, 2026. This was our immigration stories as told by Canadian immigrants with the job father from Jupiter HR. Hit that like button, subscribe, and see you in the next video.